Hello, this is Chucky from Collecting for Fun, and today we are going to be reviewing Perceptor. And so we have Perceptor, the Studio Series 86 version that we had just unboxed in one of the earlier episodes. And we had a chance to play around with this fella, and now we know how to transform it, so we're going to review this. We also have my original Perceptor here to kind of compare it. I will not be transforming this one because I'm kind of scared to be honest. It's got very stiff joints, and I don't want to break anything. So here we got the original Perceptor. You can see that his microscope part is on this side of it, whereas this one, the newer version, the telescope is on the other side. And I don't know why it's like that. It should be like this. So let's have a look at how we compare this. So the color-wise, this is a little bit darker and this is a little bit lighter. And I do like the lighter color. The face shape is so much better. You can see the original face shape over here, where you got the big, yellow eyes. Head shape is similar, but you can see it's more narrow, and this is more like what I remember from the cartoon show. Gun is very similar. It's red, so the whole shape of it is very similar. He does have this rocket here that shoots out, and this one does not come with that. We do have this thing here, as I said, and that's the original. And you can see how much bigger the original Perceptor was compared to the updated Studio Series 86 one. Okay. Now, we do have a Perceptor very similar to this one, or a Transformer very similar to this one. This is the Black Perceptor, also called Magnifico or Magnificus. I can't remember. Something like that. And this is a Decepticon version of it. So when I was young, I had one similar to this one because it was a Black Perceptor. But the cool thing is, when I was young, this microscope part actually did work. So you could, I could put slides in and I could see stuff and blow it up, and so that was pretty cool. So you can see the difference in the face shape. This one has this little face mask in there. So basically, but the top is very similar, just different coloration, and the eyes are similar, more yellow there. Okay, and then of course we got the Decepticon symbol right here. This one does not have it, but this Autobot symbol is right on the glass sheet there. Okay, so let's go ahead and transform Perceptor. This one and this one are exact same molds because they transform pretty much exactly the same. And so you can see the gums are very similar other than coloration. So that's black and that's red. And yeah, so I do love the coloration of this one just because this is the one I played with when I was young. But obviously, original Perceptor colors are very, very cool, especially for getting the Autobot version. All right, so let's put this one aside, and we're going to show you how to transform. Oops. Let's see if I can upright that properly. We're going to see how we can transform this one. But before we do that, let's compare Perceptor to some of his contemporaries. So here we have Ironhide. So Ironhide's a bit shorter but bulkier, or maybe they're about the same height. It might be pretty darn close to the same height. So if they're off by a little bit, it looks like Ironhide's maybe slightly shorter, but he's definitely bulkier or wider. Okay. And Bumblebee, I believe, was in a couple episodes with him. He's shorter. He's a mini bot. And then obviously he likes to annoy the heck out of Optimus, and you can see the size comparison. Optimus is much taller, but I think it pairs, like the size comparison pairs well, right? Because that's about the size comparison as it was in the show. And then we got big guy, we got Jazz, pairs size-wise comparison looks pretty good. And we got the big guy himself. We got Grimlock over here, and Grimlock just towers over Perceptor, which he would because he's one of the Dinobots, and he's just big. He's just huge. All right, so let's have a look at how we are going to transform Perceptor. So we're going to take off the arms, or not arms. We're going to take off his gun. All right, and then let's move that outside so we're not distracted. And then we're going to basically get his arms ready. We're going to flip his hand in, both sides. Okay. Flip his hands in, both sides. And then we're going to kind of bring this arm down. Okay. And just kind of get this arm ready for the top. Before we do that, we're also going to bring this arm down. Okay, good. And we're going to now get his head out of the way. So we're going to move this out of the way. We're going to turn his head that way inward, and we're going to flip that into here. So we're just going to turn his head down, and boom, that's that part there. And so we'll get the microscope ready part now. So we're going to just kind of jig this over there. Okay, so that microscope part is in the middle, and then we're going to slide this part here. We're going to flip that up into that slot right there and just kind of lock that into place. And now we can get the arms up properly, and we're going to lock those in place. Just kind of tuck those in on both sides. There we go. Make sure that's all the way in. So we just kind of get the arms there. And basically now we're just working on the feet, and then we'll bring that out at the end. So we're going to bring kind of give him the splits first, turn his leg up, and then we're going to give that a bend right there. And you see that the original Perceptor had some tanky features, so he was able, original toy, he was able to turn into a tank. And so he never did that in the cartoon, but in the toy, he had that ability. And let's bring that leg in. So bend it at 90 degrees, pull this thing down, and we just have to bring the chest plate down, and bring this down a little bit, and there we are. We have him in his microscope form. And so, yeah, so Perceptor is the resident Autobot scientist. And so, yeah, I like this transformation, and looks pretty good. As you know, for a microscope, this looks like a pretty good transformer. And it reminds me of the toy I had when I was young, because you know, I had one that was a black version of this one. This one obviously a much more complicated transformer and more what do you call it? More flexible and a lot more sophisticated joint movement. This telescope does not really work, so don't, you know, it doesn't do anything. But the original one I did have as a toy did work, so that was kind of cool. So now we're going to do some simple modifications to get this into tank mode. So we're just going to basically move his legs out. So basically the tank mode is very simple. We're going to get this little slot here into that slot there. And so we're just going to get that moving into there. And again, same thing here. We're going to move the leg out that way, and just kind of move that this pin right into there. And the only other thing we're going to do is move that back, and more or less that is Perceptor as a tank. Okay, so we got the wheels down here, and it's tanky. So nothing overly sophisticated. I think I messed up the legs back here a little bit, but you get the gist of it. I don't think the leg movements back here make a heck of a lot of a difference, but for our purists, we'll get to move that leg a bit more that way. You know. But yeah, I don't think that makes a heck of a lot of difference. The main point is that you want to get that slot here into that slot there. And again, he never appears in tank mode in the cartoon. So, but this is a nice feature to have as an homage to the original toy. Okay, so now that we have it here, let's go ahead and we'll flip it back into robot mode. So we're going to flip this back in, flip the chest plate up. We're going to free up the feet. Okay, and we're going to just kind of finesse his legs down, kind of turn them in the right way. Oops, I think I overturned it. Get the feet out here, feet out here. All right, and we're just going to turn this part here. Oops, I think I turned it wrong. There we go. So we got the legs good now. I think they're fine. Yep. And now we're going to free up the arms. So we're going to free those up here. We can turn them out a little bit, bring these up just a little bit. So, but before we bring them up all the way, we got to bring this box down. So we're going to free that part out, push that down. And now we can move the arm up into the socket joint, so we can lock up this part into there, and we just push that up, and then we're going to free up this hand. There we go. So now that we freed up that hand, we're going to free up the other hand. That out there, move that up, and then we just have to bring this down, and we can, now that that's down, and then we can bring, sorry, we double joint that up, and then we can bring that arm up and lock into there. And of course, he needs a head. So let's go get his head out. So we're going to flip this up, get his head around there, and we just turn his head around. All right. And that's the back of Perceptor. I don't know if I looked at the back yet, but you can see he's got a little alcove for his head. So, I mean, that's not a make or break thing for me. Front looks awesome. And again, very, very posable, very high articulation. It's a very good mold. And so I'm happy with the mold, happy with the way they colored it. I'm going to put his gun back in here. And so Perceptor looks kind of like a badass there, even though he's hardly ever see him, full on combo. I mean, he does fight the Decepticons, but he's mostly there for research and science purposes, and with the odd firefight there. But he's not known for his, you know, skills on the battlefield. He's more of their nerd, resident nerd there to give them all the details they need for whatever science questions they have or repairs or whatever. He kind of took over some of the roles that Ratchet and Wheeljack did. But yeah, very good. I like this toy. It's really cool. And again, if you already have the Magnificus version, I don't know if you need this one. I mean, for me, I just like having a Perceptor because Perceptor is one of my favorites, and having him being able to pair with the Autobots. Um, and Perceptor, again, one of the ones that survived the purge of the movie. So, he's one of the few that he can pair with the older Autobots, or you can bring him and pair him with some of the newer, or the 86, the ones that came out in the movie. And Springer and him actually do share probably a fair bit of screen time in the season 3 and 4, and so you can have them paired with Springer as well. So yeah, that, my friends, is Perceptor. I hope you enjoyed that quick review of him and also how to transform him into the microscope mode and tank mode and back into robot mode. And this is one of my favorites, Perceptor as a transformer. Period. And I'm really glad to have been able to get this Studio Series 86 Perceptor here to go with the other ones I have. So I hope you enjoyed the review, and if you haven't already, please smash the like button and subscribe button. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, I got a treat for you guys. We're going to get ourselves a RoboSim Grimlock and open that up for our 1,000th when we hit 1,000 subscribers. And then we're also going to do, obviously, a couple reviews with him. We're going to show all the things he can do, pair him with Optimus Prime. We're going to make a couple cool videos doing that and bring him out every once in a while just to show you that fun toy that I'm looking forward to getting, and showing that on our videos so we can do something really great for our subscribers. So thank you so much for watching. We will see you guys very soon. And again, this is Chucky from Collecting for Fun, and I hope you enjoyed this review of Perceptor, Studio Series 86.